Okay, I'm about to read the third and final book. You might be surprised as to how much science there is behind this magnificent creature. The Dragon's Ecosystem, Volume 3. The Science of the Dragon's Ecosystem by James Bartman. Chapter 1. Herpetology and Biology of the Dragon. What inspired the dragon ecosystem? To make a realistic portrayal of these creatures in a fantasy world, I had to look up books. Books for real animals. Now, I did my homework to portray a realistic animal's legend was to assemble the following information on reptiles such as the crocodile, the Tyrannosaurus rex, and lizards in general. Note, the dragon has a neck, has a long neck, like a snake, and a mouth reminiscent of the crocodile. And just like a crocodile, it had to hunt, and it stood to reason it would hunt by blending in like crocodiles. So it is possible it could fly like an eagle, but it can breathe fire. It just so happened that there were trees that need fire to grow, plus dragons breath fire, which causes the heat, which releases the seeds coated in a wax-like cover, such as the giant sequoia. The food the dragon can... Okay. The dragon can eat food native to England, such as the European bison, European badger, or European animal. Just like a tiger, it can blend in by using gems as explained in Volume 1. The reason it sleeps on gold is because it proves the most sought mineral, like in the classic Rankin Bass film, The Flight of Dragons. There are builders in the natural world that have unusual nests or homes out of unusual material. For example, spiders make webs out of glue, slime, and silk. Apes make baskets out of leaves. Lizards often use rocks to warm themselves. So it's possible that dragons could do the same with gold. The satin bowerbird collects things that are blue, so it's not unusual. The science of the fiery breath. Paleontology and chemistry, well, like in The Flight of Dragons, it is possible dragons could use gems, not just for blending in, but a food source. They could use it to grind limestone, which is high in calcium mixed with hydrogen peroxide, which would form hydrogen, and that is a flammable gas. Well, according to The Flight of Dragons, the hydrogen may look like a reptilian equivalent of the Hindenburg. But there is an alternative. The venom could work like alcohol. They're both flammable. As for eating rocks, well, that behavior has been associated with dinosaurs. Specifically, the Brontosaurus are shown eating gizzard stones to pulverize plants from a tree. Chapter 3, Mating Science. Now, the dragon is portrayed to participate in a ritual, a torching tournament, because the reptiles, mammals have mating rituals like making nests, hunting tactics like stealth and flight. Let's visualize the eagle and the snake. The eagle dive while snakes wrap around each other. So imagine a mashup of a snake with wings, like dragons doing the diving ritual in the right page. Chapter 4, Genetics and Evolution. Now for what inspired the evolution of the dragon. Well, snakes are the last thing that comes to mind, but in a discovery in 2013 by an undergraduate student, found that snakes with legs really took the herpetological world by surprise. So the Asian dragon could evolve from snakes with legs. The European dragon looks like a crocodile. In fact, it's a giant reptilian animal, almost like until now. It has not been known if feasibility or flying reptiles, and if you think flying giant reptiles were mere fantasy, wrong again. The Rhamphorhynchus here looks like the dragon. It's two-legged kitten. What? You're written. But this book is focused on dragons. Chapter 5. Science behind horn, growth, and color. The female is lightish green. The male is darkish green. While their gender differences have much in common with the green animals. Horn growth science. Now, of course, dragon horns, but have horns. But not all. Like the reindeer, is a unique reptile. In fact, the grow horns in different shapes, like sheep, antelope, deer, or bison. And like those animals, they even fought with those horns or antlers for dominance. Oh, and remember an important detail: the dragons are hunting like a team. Remember crocodiles? Well, the dragons may have hunted just like them. So when you think about it, imagine giant crocodiles that can fly. Oh, and cannibalism. Because on rare occasions, crocodiles would eat their young to eliminate competition. So dragon cannibalism may not be out of the question. In fact, crocodiles even hunted like a team to bring down a wildebeest. So maybe dragons could do the same. With the European bison. Oh, remember how for snakes, like a spitting cobra, it is using venom to ward off enemies. The fire breathing not only is a weird weapon, in fact, there are nets made of bubbles that whales use to capture fish. And tigers to stand and prey with sound. So the next time you're watching The Flight of Dragons, any shows or films, remember, the animators worked in live-action films with dragons. Remember, it's a science to imagine them. End of Book 3.